Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and in my last video I asked for comments on how my color editing looked, because I don't have cloudy skies normally, but during our monsoon season we have a lot of cloudy skies. By the way, I put a new tail on the weather vane, you'll see. Anyway, so I came up with some ideas for how to make a video just a little more bright and cheery using some color adjustments in my editor. And I got some comments back, and I appreciate the comments. And one of the things that I forgot to do was to add gamma, which is how you change the brightness. And that was one of the things that I forgot. I don't know why I forgot, but I forgot. Now, in that first video, if you take a look at this tree, you'll see that with this color modification, the tree doesn't look all dark, which if you go back to the other video, which you don't need to, I can just tell you, it came out too dark. But when I added the gamma adjustment, then it came out much nicer. So I apologize for that. We're adding three things to this video: contrast, gamma, and saturation. There's that gate that the wind blew off. It blew all the way down that track and off the end. So anyway, now here I am coming up over the top of the house, and just looking at this, there's without any color adjustment, okay? And so it's not too bad because it wasn't gray enough skies, I don't think. But the color adjustment still helps because it makes the colors more vivid. There, now look at the grass, and then watch when it comes back. The grass is going to be more vivid. So anyway, I got some good comments, and I thought, all right, I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to add the gamma modification to it, and then I can, it won't be so dark, because that was one of the comments. Well, actually, a lot of people said it was just okay, but we also got comments said it was too dark, and that's because I forgot the gamma. So what I did was I set up a tutorial, and we'll tune into that tutorial, and you can hear how I went about fixing things. So let's go there. All right, let's get started here. If you have an editor that handles contrast and different color management, then you can use yours to do the same thing. If you are interested in downloading Kdenlive, which is what I'm using, it's totally free and it's very powerful. And so I'll show you using Kdenlive how I go about putting the color changes in. And by the way, if you download Kdenlive, it's not going to look like this. But if you go over to, let me see, is it Project? Just a second. No, View. You go over to Layout, and you can change these layouts like the compositions and the effects and the library and all that stuff. It's going to be all down here at the bottom when you open it up. So don't be discouraged. Just there are lots of videos on YouTube, lots of videos on how to use Kdenlive. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go down the line here to where we got something to use. I'll go down the timeline that will work for us. And so if I made a marker right here, because this has got brights and greens and dim parts, and we're going to go ahead and change that to the way we want it. So the last video I made, I got some comments, and they said it was good. Some people said it was too dark, and that's because I forgot to include gamma, which I use all the time. So we'll get there in a second. But let's go ahead and get started. And so you need to go to color and image correction, and wherever you find it on your editor, and we'll go alphabetically, and we'll go down the list. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to contrast, and we click on that, and then we drag it down to our timeline. Okay, and contrast, when it gets click on the timeline, and it shows up here in our effects stack, and it comes in at 250. Now we can change that. You can make a lot of contrast or very little contrast. And so what we want to do is we want to set it at 300. For gray skies, that's what I would suggest you set it for. Now you can change that as 300 is not a magic number, but that's what I'm using. So in this video, so the contrast we've got. Now also we're going to add gamma this time, so we're going to bring gamma down and put it in here. Now what gamma is a correction that you can use your editor to correct the light that comes into the camera and the light that you like to see on your video. And generally the camera does a pretty good job, but if you want to, you can change the amount of light. Like we go to gamma and we just take it, get total black or total bright, and so we can set it to whatever is pleasing to us. And for this video I used 136, so we'll go over here and we'll change that to 136. And that's the gamma setting. So now we've got contrast and gamma. Now the only other thing we need is saturation. You have to be real careful with saturation because we'll bring it down to the timeline. Saturation, you can really mess things up. Like for instance, if I go too far, it looks ugly. If I go this way, it turns gray. If you want a black and white, just change the saturation to 0 or 1. In our case, we're going to use, oh, by the way, let's delete this and see what it comes in as. It comes in as 125, okay? And so that's what the video was set at when it loaded up. But we're going to increase the saturation just a little bit, and we're going to change it to 160. Okay, now that brings a little more color in. Saturation is the amount of color, and of course when the sun's shining you get a lot more colorful things. So we're trying to imitate the sun. So now we've got contrast and gamma and saturation, those three things. Now that's what we've got on this at this part of the video here, and so we could go ahead and play it and see how it looks. Okay, and that's what I did to do that. Now let's say that you've got a video with more than one clip. Like let's go up here. This clip doesn't have any of the any of the effects put into it, and so we don't want to go through the trouble of redoing everything over again. So we'll go back here, click on this one, and we go up and we just right click on the timeline and go up to copy. Okay, now we'll come over here and we'll right click on the timeline and we paste effects. Okay, so now when we get over here, the effects are there and there won't be any change between the first one that we did and the second one that we did. So go along here and there's the effects. Now one more thing using Kdenlive. Let's say that I like this setting and I want to use it in all my videos for gray days. So what we do there is we go over here to the top of the effects stack. This is called a stack, the effects stack. We'll go there and we'll click on that and it'll say save effects stack. So we'll save it, and it wants us to give it a name, so we'll call it demo. Okay, D-E-M-O, and click on OK. Now then, over here is our effects that we have, but where's the one we just created? You go over here to the star, which is custom effects. Click on that, click on the custom, and there's our demo right there. So let's so now we can use this in any video that we shoot because it's saved with all of our effects. We'll go back up here and get back to the regular effects. So there, that's how I put this video together. It was cloudy, and these numbers aren't they're not set in concrete. You can change them according to how you feel about it when you're working with your videos. But I know last winter I felt bad for some guys. They were shooting really nice videos, but it was a gray sky. Maybe this would be helpful to try to brighten up your videos a little bit, make them a little more lively. So anyway, there you go. I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.